party has been over for some time, but its shadows still linger. Paper streamers, empty bottles, and passed-out guests lay about as the great cleaning has not come to pass. The sun has risen, and now is the time for brooms and mops to clear out what has been, to make way for the new. The celebration of the past is over, and now is the time to look forward. There is much to do. There is no time to play.
Hi, everyone.
Awkward silence.
I can edit that.
He'll fix that in post.
I can fix that in post. Everything's being fixed in
That's
post.
your answer to everything.
It is. It's true.
Welcome to show business.
All right, welcome to episode
Eight. Episode 8.
8?
Yep.
We think?
No, I know.
We know because we can see it in
As a person that spent
stream
all
now.
day Saturday putting YouTube videos up on YouTube, I know that we are clearly on episode 8 right now.
All right. Well, welcome to episode number 8, everyone. The first one of 2016. I am one of your co-hosts, Scott, and I am joined by Matt.
Hello.
Shane.
Hello.
Tony.
Hello.
And the Len.
Hiya.
All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome to 2016.
Hey, thanks for having me. 2016.
All right. Matt, do you have the agenda in front of you?
No, I don't.
We're starting off on the right foot. I forgot to introduce everyone in my intro. That's all right.
Oh, that's okay. You know what? It's 2016. We're shaking out the turkeys and the stuffings and the mashed potatoes and the crackers that got the little like crowns in them and then they get like a jigsaw puzzle sometimes or like a
yo-yo.
A yo-yo, yeah.
All right. Well, if anyone listening, and hopefully there are people listening. If you've just joined us, this is a podcast about video games, board games, card games, TV, etc. that we have no time to play or consume. So we've decided to make a podcast about talking about them.
When do we add TV to this?
Just now. It's a new year.
It's a new year. We got another thing we have no time for. Television. Actually, that's true because there's a lot of TV that I am way behind on right now. So
I am behind on many things as well. So apparently we're not following the agenda that Matt had carefully made for.
The agenda was made by Scott, and I just reposted the agenda today to make sure everyone knew about it.
But you said it was.
I had no time to look at the agenda.
There was no time. There's no time to play. There's no time to prepare.
Nope.
We're just.
All right.
Well,
first off, we like to say a little kudos to Matt, who has worked very hard to get all the wonderful content that we have done so far available for all you, and he'll explain to you where it is at the end of this wonderful conversation that we're having. But the one thing I want to use this as a segue for is looking back on 2015, and I've realized a couple things of listening to our podcast so far. One, Tony has not played Netrunner yet.
That's true.
No big loss.
Yeah, I know, right? Like I'm not going to apologize. It just hasn't happened yet. It'll happen when I'm ready.
Actually, something that we can do. You know what? No, that's a 2016 thing. I'll wait until the 2016 topic comes up.
What else did you notice from 2015, Scott?
I've noticed that what was the other thing I was going to say? Well, the one thing is I apparently have a love-hate relationship with Netrunner because it's interesting listening to the podcast when I am excited about it and then the podcast where I'm not excited about it because the podcasts were far enough apart that I became unhappy and sad at the same time.
And then happy again.
And then happy again, which we'll get into in 2016.
And then sleepy. And then a little hungry.
I also noticed that we need Lenny to talk more, and that I need to finish Bravely Default is another thing I've noticed.
Yes, you did. Seriously, you haven't beaten that yet.
I haven't either.
I'm embarrassed for you.
I used to own that game.
Has Tony finished it?
Yes.
Tony's the only one.
And I'm almost halfway through my second run.
Well, wait, that doesn't seem like in the spirit of the podcast.
I know.
Any other thoughts about 2015? I actually played a lot of games. Is the other thing I noticed too. I started a lunch board game group, and I played a lot of board games and a lot of card games.
I find 2015 was all about like literally having like no time to play at all. Like when I looked at my games that I played in 2015 compared to 2014, is that 2014 I met my quota of 14 games. I usually beat 14 games in a year. However, the games I beat in 2015 were significantly smaller games than 2014. Like 2014, I beat Mass Effect. I beat Final Fantasy 14, like the 2.0 version of it. Like I had some very big games in there. And then like, I get to 2015 and I got like Her Story, which took like, a couple hours, and then like all the games.
How do you feel about that, Lenny?
2 or 3 hours. like the length.
Yes,
that's fine.
Okay.
Well, what Lenny's not okay with is a 40-minute expansion pack.
What I like to refer to as an extra chapter equals no.
Yeah, I see.
But so I feel that like this year, when we go to the 2016 topic, I've done something different, and I'm gonna try to beat meatier games than I did in 2015. So my hopefully I'll still have 14. My goal is to get 14 games done, but the caliber of games is gonna be I want meatier games. I don't want the quick little games. I want to try to like do, which I'll explain in the next topic.
I seem to have a little bit of a different problem with the fact that I'm playing a lot of turn-based strategy games, but they're all in like a very similar style of game. Like I'm looking at Civilization. I also just started playing one that I picked up during the winter Steam sale, Endless Legends. Another one.
Is it truly endless?
So far, yeah.
And legendary.
And very legendary. It's a very enjoyable game, but it's a turn-based thing that you're on a map. You go out, you complete your objectives, and then I haven't hit the end. I couldn't tell you, but you get a victory screen in Civ. Does that count?
Lenny?
How long does it take?
Like a day.
Longer. Well, it really depends on how you play.
Acceptable.
Yeah, because I've had games last until I've cranked up the turn maximum to 999 turns. So you know how long the turns get by the end near the end game of Civ 5.
Yeah,
so it doesn't have like a campaign or something, or
Civ in particular doesn't. You basically choose your leader, and basically which civilization you want to play, and then you all start at like year one, like the Stone Age. Like you basically have a warrior and a settler.
Yeah, but when you get to space, you win.
Yeah. That's pretty much if you're looking for like a story mode or a quest or anything like that, there's different victory objectives that you can try and achieve. So
see,
and it doesn't have Steam trophies or achievements or anything, does it?
Yeah. There'll be Steam. Tons. Yeah, there'll be tons of achievements there.
It's like 800 and something. It's 863. I want to think.
But there's so many different leaders though that if that's the objective that you're going to beat the game with every leader, well, then I sadly say no, it's never going to happen because there's so many different nuances to that game. But you could literally spend 100 years playing that game and never play the same combination of game twice.
Right.
Yeah, it's like because it's more board gamey.
Exactly. Yeah.
It has,
and I'm realizing that I'm
like
playing a lot of board game style games on my computer. Armello is another great example of that, where you've got four teams. Yeah.
Is that the one? I noticed when I was listening to the old podcast. That was the other thing I remembered. You were playing a game where it was Australia but without natives.
Australia without natives.
You were colonizing. You were from another place, and you were colonizing this place. You had to make sure they didn't die, and then there was like a whole genetics thing that you had to worry about, like having kids.
Oh, Banished. Yeah.
Banished. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you finish that?
There's no end.
Oh. Okay.
What I considered a victory was when I made it to like
City, right? Like there's no end to Sims.
Exactly, pretty much. You just play until all the resources are exhausted, and then that's the end of the game. But
Wow, they're rather dark.
Pretty much, yeah.
Play until you no longer can survive.
Well, technically, you could say the same sort of thing about a game like Pac-Man, where it can just go on infinite levels, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Until it repeats.
Well, until the kill screen, actually. Well, actually, Pac-Man I don't think had a kill screen.
I think it did once you get a certain score or something.
Yeah, it was yeah, when you got to a certain... Yeah, you're right, when you got to a certain score. Not a score, sorry, stage.
No, I think it was score. I don't know. I don't remember.
No, because then that means you can only get a certain high score, right?
Gotcha. All right, any other thoughts for 2015 from anybody? Or are we going to go straight to Matt's 2016 goal?
I was just going to say, I kind of agree with Matt. I found that I played a lot of different games, but the games that I finished tended, for the most part, to not be quite as long as the games I had finished in the past. Although I still beat a Disgaea game, and that takes a fair amount of time, so...
Mm-hmm.
At least I had one good meaty game in last year.
Is Max McMahon considered a meaty game?
I don't even know what that is. Is that one? That's that
Devil's
Phoenix
Attorney.
Wright ripoff one?
The Devil's Attorney game.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not a meaty game.
Oh, really? Have you won it?
No, but just give me about an hour and I can probably beat it. Right?
I'll bang it out.
Let's bang it right now before I go to bed.
What are
Now,
we looking for?
I
the
think
best part would be is if he couldn't do it. Like it's like he's like 50 minutes in, he's like, dang it.
it's like, this is the hardest game I've ever played. But I think that another like a sort of a problem about the reason why, like, first of all, we are all busy people and we don't have time to play. That's the name and the theme of the show. But this year seemed to be the year of the open world games, especially on the video game side. That is, it was very like you had like games like Witcher 3, Fallout 4, Mad Max is a lesser example, Metal Gear Solid 5, like those, like all those games that came out this year were like really big games. And like Witcher 3, I don't even believe there is an end to that game, because it's like it's so big and so rich that...
Well, I think there is, because it's quite the narrative in it.
Yeah, no, I joke around that it isn't, but like it's like games that can put, like, we always thought that Skyrim was a huge game, but like the games that came out this year put it to shame, like, because it's like they're just so big. And like Witcher 3 has like, I think like 2 expansion packs have already come out this year for it. So it's like, adding hours and hours to an already super heavy game to it. Like, so like not only is it hard to, beat games, because we're, so busy, is that the games themselves are becoming so big that it's very hard to, unless you're playing some indie game, it's super hard to beat.
It's hard to determine when the game actually ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I stick to the indie games.
Forever?
Like,
you just like all of
well,
them?
I don't know. Maybe for 2016, I will try either to do one of those Final Fantasies that I got at Christmas, or I will try to do Demon Souls 2, or Dark Souls 2.
That's like, that's weird though. Like you're not even like you're not like baby stepping into it. You're just like it's like I beat that 40-minute Thomas is Alone expansion. I think the next game I'm gonna beat is Dark Souls 2, like one of the hardest games out there.
Oh yeah.
Although I figure I'll probably try the same thing as Scott there. I'm gonna try to get a couple Western themed RPG in there, and I'm gonna try to do some JRPG as well next year.
Now you've already done a good start actually with the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Tomb Raider.
Like that's not an RPG, mind you, but like
no,
but
it's
still a much meatier game than the regular games, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Is it meatier though? Like
it takes me a long time.
It's sort of like it's like a platformer, right? Like you have to go from one place to the other, and then they have the Batman site thing, X-ray /site/ go here site.
Yeah, survival site or whatever it's called.
Yeah, but
but with Tomb Raider, it's a kind of like a quasi open world. Like it's like you have these hubs that you go to, and then like you're trapped within a open-ish world type area, and then there's multiple ones of those through it, and you can like do it whatever way you want.
Yeah, it's like Super Mario World.
No,
Sort of.
what? Super Mario
But
World?
there's secondary objectives and whatnot in Tomb Raider that you can go back to different base camps and collect data packs or gather more resources so that you can improve your weapons and whatnot. So you can just burn through the main story and only see 80% of the content, or you can go back, be more thorough, have better equipment when you're meeting the end game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think I got 100% complete on it. I can't remember.
Cool.
Well, for the single player anyway.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Batman.
Like
the
Arkham
series. Yeah.
Yeah.
When did
that was another one.
When did you play it, Scott?
It was the PS3 version, I think, right?
No, it's end of 2014, maybe. When did it come out?
Yeah, I think so.
20. Well, I'm not sure when it came out.
Did you beat it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It took me 40 minutes, so I didn't want to talk about
it. Yeah. Well, you're really good then.
I skipped all the cutscenes.
I skipped all the cutscenes
and levels.
I also hacked the game to take out the middle 8 levels.
Well, the trick is if you just keep running, like you just don't stop.
Or it's like Chrono Trigger. If you just like go turn right, like at the one, like there's a spot where you can turn right and go through these bushes, and then you end up at the end guy. But the thing is like you're still at level 1, so he just annihilates you. But you can just go right to the end guy if you wanted to.
That's funny.
So
that was I thought it was well done. It was a fun game, for sure.
Tomb Raider, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just watched the trailer this afternoon for the next one that's coming out.
Rise of the Tomb Raider is already out for the Xbox One, but the end of this month comes out for the PC.
Mm-hmm.
And then PS4 gets it like I don't know next November, which sucks, but
no, that's good.
Why is that good?
Because it gives Scott a time to play some of the other games he has before it comes out.
Exactly.
And he beats it in 40 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's an hour well spent.
Unacceptable.
Now, Scott, before we go to 2016 here, we've talked a lot about video games in 2015, but what about I can't really say too much here because I haven't done too many board games. I did a little bit of board games.
I don't know. I think you've done a lot. If you start counting all the games you played.
Yeah, I was thinking at first, but yeah.
Scott talked about the group that he set up at his work that he played a lot of lunch games with.
Yeah, we got through a lot of games. I got to try a lot of games that have just been sitting in my cupboard, which was quite exciting. And even finding out the games that were duds, which was good, just to actually play it. My card game dilemma has not been solved yet. But hopefully that'll be solved soon.
Have you even narrowed it down?
No.
Not really.
No.
Like, what are the players? You had Doomtown, which like you just gotta have to get over it, and then like you got Netrunner.
No, it's a good game.
To be honest, Doomtown was the one we played, right?
Yeah, we played. Now, honestly, Tony, I think we would need to take another shake at it because you and I tried to play together, and neither of us knew how to play it.
Yeah. I think it takes a good 3 or 4 playthroughs before you kind of get a grasp.
Yeah, I would play
for
Doomtown
almost any
again.
game. That's
I'd
the best way to go about it.
Yeah. The thing about Doomtown, it's just it's on my it and Netrunner have the 2 chips on my shoulders. The one thing about Doomtown is that the way I like to play back in the 90s 2000s when we played the first version didn't work. But now in the new version, I understand that the game works better. For me anyway, I understand the game better than I did. And that's why I'm excited about it. But I just can't sell anybody on it. It's very sad. But
next time you're in town, bring Doomtown.
I will bring Doomtown to next town.
Also bring Netrunner and a lighter.
Wow, did my conscience just take over there? What was that?
Yeah, so sorry. So Doomtown, which I still think is a good game. People just have to give it a try. Mm-hmm. And to your point, Shane, it's gotten a lot better since you tried just out of the starter box. The first 3 saddlebags actually really help out the faction you like, the Hucksters.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I don't know. It's just there's something about either the characters that they have, it just isn't working for me.
It's because I can beat you at it. That's why.
There's like a gauntlet throwdown that just happened.
Everybody stand back, and it's going down.
Netrunner. I started playing that at work as well. I have a friend at work who I play once a week with him, so I got a bunch of games of those in. So I was kind of falling back in love in that. And now they've recently, just in 2016, released a not a restricted list, but a list that make. Go ahead, Shane.
It's sort of a restricted list. It's the Netrunner version of a restricted list, where it's just they've made certain cards more expensive to put in your deck.
Yeah, which I hope will allow other styles of play, and they also changed a ruling on the programs I like to use, which has made me quite happy. So yes, I'm very excited about that. So that's still on the list. I've gotten Ashes, Rise of the Phoenix Born, which I've quite enjoyed as well. I have Call of Cthulhu and Game of Thrones, which I've been given as gifts. And then I have...
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Conquest, Warhammer 40K Conquest, which is a game I can't believe how much I've enjoyed as well. So...
that's one that I enjoyed despite the setting and everything.
It's the most ridiculous.
I like the setting of the Warhammer. It's fun. It's like fantasy in space.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
It's just so over the top ridiculous is what I love about it. It's just so silly, and the fact you can't take a good chunk of it seriously. So,
the fact is that's a superbly well designed game.
Oh yeah, it's a super good game. The cards are just, the only problem they have is that the Dark Eldar are kind of a little powerful, but now everyone else is kind of catching up. So, and also they point out that everyone complains about the one faction being so powerful, and they said that its win percentage is only 8% higher than everybody else, or something like that. Like I said, it's they're all very close. If you play any of the factions and you go to a tournament, you have a pretty good
chance of winning. Yeah.
So I haven't made that decision yet either.
Hold on though, with Ashes though, that's just a standalone game, right? It doesn't expand upon it at all.
It expands, but it's in a much more to use a video game example, it has expansion packs. So in the sense, once every quarter, or maybe twice a year, they'll come out with 2 new decks that goes into your pool.
Oh, okay. So bigger, but not as spaced
frequent.
out a lot of it.
Yeah, exactly. So they're using
It's not like the CCG or LCG, which basically have microtransactions as well as expansions. It just has a couple of big DLC per year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you for the video game terms. That makes sense.
Trying to bridge the analogy, bridge the gap a little bit.
Yeah. But so I haven't made any decisions on that as well. But I think all of you have played some of them. I know Tony and Len haven't played all of them, but I think you guys both have.
Well,
I haven't played Ashes yet.
Oh, Ashes is great. Even Lenny likes Ashes, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, it's true.
But I just got the core set for Game of Thrones 2nd edition. So I'm probably gonna be making the locals, Tony and Lenny, play a little bit.
Nice.
So, oh my God, what's happening?
I haven't decided about. I'm interested to play some more Game of Thrones. I think it's a lot smoother than the 1st edition.
Mm-hmm.
Just from reading the cards and just how it's worked, and I've played a couple games just done some dummy hands and stuff like that just to see how it plays out, and it's way smoother, and it just seems the math is a little more consistent, so you can look at it and you can figure out how you're going to spend your gold and that sort of thing. So nice. And I like the addition of the new factions, they now have the Night's Watch, and
I'm really excited to play a Night's Watch style deck.
The hunker down deck.
The hunker down deck. That's what I do, man. I like in video games or board games. I hunker down.
But yeah, true. I also got to try some games that I've been meaning to try for a long time, like Dead of Winter. I got to try, which I was quite happy with.
That is a great game. I really like Dead of Winter. Yeah. I played it three times now.
Yeah.
And we actually almost won the last game.
Oh, really?
Actually, did we not win? I think we did win.
We didn't. We won as a group, but none of us made our.
You didn't get our objectives.
Our personal objectives, none of us obtained.
Was there a betrayer?
There was no betrayer.
Oh, there you go. That's why you won.
Yeah, because there's no one messing.
Yeah. Yeah, I also got to try Imperial Settlers, Spyfall,
Catacombs.
Catacombs.
Catacombs is fun.
Catacombs is a lot of fun.
Yeah, Catacombs is. That's a pretty good game. I'm glad I bought it for you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, basically Catacombs. I don't know if we've discussed it before, but it's a dungeon crawl game. But there's no dice, and there's no. What it is that you have discs. So your hero is a disc, and if you want to hit a monster, you flick the disc, and if you hit the monster, then the monster takes damage.
Yeah, so it's like what's that? Crocono or Cannoli?
Yeah. It's like Crocono. It's like Crocono and Dungeons and Dragons had an evening away at a resort.
Yeah, and they made a baby.
They got all drunk.
Now I want to play this.
They got all drunk on that, and then they got vacation drunk, which is the best kind, and then they made a child.
No, vacation drunk is not the best.
All right, we'll just leave that at that.
But yeah, Shane, it's quite impressive. Like, so you basically, if you can, we had 2 players and 1 game master, and so I was the game master, so I controlled the monsters, and so you put up like 10 rooms, and so you flip the room card, and that tells you where you're going to put your monsters on the board, and each monster has sort of different characteristics. Like there's a gelatinous cube, which is a giant cube.
Pretty much the party killer is what.
Yeah. Oh, it's brutal. Like it basically, if it gets close to anybody, it flicks close to anybody, and if it touches them, then they get sucked inside.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're that cube is what ended us. Like we made it. It was the second last room.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, the second last room. We just had one more to get to the final boss, and then that gelatinous cube just completely annihilated us.
Yeah. But then there's
wasn't it the cube that could hit you and stun you and then hit you?
No, that was the ghouls.
Those are the ghouls. So yeah, like you have minotaurs, ghouls, trolls, and they all have like different characteristics.
What could the cube do? I found it interesting, or maybe it was the ghoul that was there. I don't know.
The cube is the one that changed. Like it every turn, it would change what type of damage it would do to you. So like whether it was acid or fire, and then it would consume you.
Yeah,
it had a bunch of things.
Yeah, so you had to sort of time it, because if I was moving it towards you on its corrosive turn, you're like, well, next turn that's going to try to swallow me. But the ghoul was the one you hated, Lenny, because that was the one where if it touched you, you became stunned.
Yeah.
And then it would do damage to you.
And then it could do damage. And also, Shane, if you're an archer, you take a little disc and you put it beside your hero disc and you flick the little disc to try to hit people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's really cool. And the artwork is like fantastic. Like Scott, you were saying that like it was actually an old game.
Yeah.
That wasn't very popular, and then
it was popular, but it was like Doomtown popular, as in guys.
So not popular.
It's a really good game. You just have to bear with it and get through it, and it's good. Because like basically people look at it and be like, the art's terrible. I don't want to watch this. But now with the art, it's really inviting, and it's like you want to try it, and then you can understand how the game works quite quickly.
And like we knew what we were doing like almost instantly, like pretty much like 5 minutes, and you know how to play the game, and it's all just like how to flick properly and stuff.
Yeah.
No, it was really good. It was the surprise board game of the year for me.
Yeah. And the thing is, it wouldn't be hard to make your own scenarios as well, right? Like.
Oh yeah, you can change everything up if you want to.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
About, sorry. Any of the other board games, Shane or Lenny or?
Actually,
I got to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I have a board. I have something to contribute to this.
What?
Yeah, I know, right?
Stop the presses.
I know. Last weekend, Becky and I were at a dinner party, and the hosts pulled out Star Trek 5-Year Mission.
Oh, how is it?
I heard about that.
Yeah, co-op card game. We beat it handily, so I don't know if it was just that the cards worked in our favor or we caught on to it pretty quick, but it was satisfying. Once you got the hang of the game, it was really smooth, but it had, all kinds of components, from the dice to cards to, needing to work as a group and plan together, but, you weren't playing against each other because you had a common goal.
Yeah.
It was very Star Trek in that respect.
Yeah, it's a deck builder too, isn't it?
I think basically because there's three decks, the blue deck, yellow, and red, which represent the alerts on the ship. So everybody takes turns drawing a card from the blue deck, the blue alert. You don't want to draw a red alert for any good reason, and then you basically do what it says on the card. But everybody takes turns rolling dice, and the results on your dice indicate what the cards are telling you to do. So say for example, a card will come up and it'll say you need a 3 and a 4 to put this card either in the graveyard or whatever they were calling it in the game, or into your victory pile or your fail pile. Once you get to 10 victories, you win. If you get to, I don't know what it was, like 5 victories, you fail. We got to our 10 victories without any real serious problems, but there were some challenges there, and a lot of things sat out there for quite a while that were causing us some grief. But let's say, for example, like a Borg encounter. So if that sits out there for too
Kirk
long,
had to fight the Borg?
Well, there was another thing, because each person plays a different crew member, but you flip the card over and there's another. So you got to choose whether you're playing classic Star Trek or Next Generation. So we were playing Next Generation. So I was playing Picard, which basically had one extra dice than everybody else.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well,
so the next
he is Picard.
Yeah, and then James, he was playing Riker. His wife was playing Crusher, and Becky was playing LaForge. And everybody had different characteristics. So, obviously, if anybody was injured, then Crusher would heal them. If the ship took damage, then LaForge could, fix the ship better than anybody else.
And if there's a female card, Riker gets it automatically.
And Riker gets it automatically.
Or a trombone card.
Yeah, but anyway, it was an interesting take on sitting around on a Saturday night. It was something different.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
There are 4 lights.
Very good. Okay. All right. That's all I have to say.
That's good.
The game that I got to try, I don't know I don't think I played it in 2014. I think only in 2015 was the X-Wing miniatures game, which is so much fun.
You played that at my house, didn't you?
Yes, and I also played at work. My coworker brought in minis a few different times. He still hasn't brought in the Outrider for me to try it though, which I really want to. But it's a lot of fun, and if it wasn't that the minis were slightly on the expensive side and took up a fair bit of space, I would probably buy into that game too. But anyways, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And it's surprisingly, I'd watched Will Wheaton's tabletop on it, and it didn't seem that interesting to me, but it's a game I think where it's more fun if you play it. It's not as much fun to watch, it's more fun when you actually play it yourself.
Like Doomtown.
Yeah, like Doomtown.
I forgot Star Wars on my card game dilemma. That's still going on too.
If you forgot Star Wars, it's no dilemma. You're not. It's not in it.
No, I've done.
You forgot about it, so clearly you don't care.
I'm playing it for Shane.
Oh.
He loves that game.
Well, it is Star Wars, and
it's Star Wars.
Star Wars is great.
And it's a well-designed game too.
Well, since we're doing TV too, I'm totally watching Star Wars Clone Wars because I haven't watched that before, and it actually makes Anakin Skywalker a kind of a cool character.
Yes, he's very cool in the Clone Wars.
I hate liking him.
I hate
liking Anakin Skywalker.
Well, wait, do you like Darth Vader?
No. Well, as a villain.
Darth Vader's a cool villain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know what? It kind of
until I watched, the prequels, and then I was just like,
well, you see,
poor
like,
Darth Vader.
So what pretty much happens is that we watch the original, and Darth Vader was like, "Oh man, this guy is like the coolest villain ever." Then you watch the prequels, it's like, "Oh man, this totally ruined what Darth Vader was." And now I'm watching Clone Wars, I'm like, "Okay, I can kind of see now they're developing him of like, his demise and stuff like that."
Mm-hmm.
And Star Wars Rebels, which is their new show, that's kind of Clone Wars is between episode 2 and 3, and then Rebels is between 3 and 4.
Correct.
And Rebels is like they're starting to bring in some of that Clone Wars stuff, like some of the story that's in the Clone Wars into Rebels, and it's like, holy smokes! It's like, and like Darth Vader's in Rebels now. He wasn't in at the beginning, but now he is.
It seems like, I haven't seen it, but it seems like they're basically doing a Doctor Who. That they're slowly reconning the whole Star Wars timeline.
Yeah, they're slowly making.
No, this is bridging. This is sort of a bridge between episode 3 and 4. So this is sort of the rise of the Empire but the rise of the rebellion.
Episode 2 and 3, like there's no. Does Anakin? I can't even remember. It's been so long. He doesn't have an apprentice.
In Clone Wars, he does.
Yeah,
but
so she didn't exist in the movie. She doesn't exist.
That's right. But Scott, spoilers.
Wait, what are we spoiling? Clone Wars? Don't do it.
Yeah, Clone Wars.
Don't do it. I've only watched I've just almost.
Yeah. Anyways,
at the end
so Clone Wars explains everything, Scott. They don't retcon anything.
Man, I thought you were gonna just say spoilers anyway.
No, I'm not saying they're doing a hard recon.
Upset.
I'm just saying that they're slowly building. I feel that they're slowly building it so that they can kind of diversify the universe, right? Because there's really only one story in Star Wars, and they're trying to make it more like a Star Trek, where you have as many stories as you want.
No, because I see where you're coming. It's not like that though. There's an ongoing narrative with the characters. It's not like Star Trek where it's like, we went to this alien planet and something happens, and then they go to a different alien planet and something happens. They're not standalone. Each show, like in Clone Wars and in Rebels especially, each episode rolls right into the next one. So it's more like Babylon 5, which is like weird example to bring up, but it's more like Babylon 5 than it is Star Trek. It's like each, it's in the show format, but the narrative is very strong through, like an ongoing narrative is going all through them.
But my point is that in the original 3, so it's episodes 4, 5, and 6, you've got a Luke story, and then a Han and Leia sub-story, and then you have comic relief with the droids. And what I'm arguing with Clone Wars and with Rebels is that the cast is getting bigger, moving towards a Babylon 5, which is like a Deep Space Nine, if you want to get into it, where you have more stories, more characters, and more stories, right?
So but each show is segregated into its own thing, right? There's only a certain set of cast in Clone Wars, and then that cast isn't really in Rebels, excluding like 1 or 2 people.
The fact that there's more than one Sith? Or 2 Sith, sorry?
Yeah, they're expanding the universe in that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to wrap up 2015 here, and we're going to take a quick, tiny little break. Okay, and we're back, and we now are going to talk about 2016. So what do you guys think that you guys are looking forward to the most in 2016? I think, come to think of it, we talked about it a little bit in episode 7, but like now that we're in the new year, we want to know that you had the holidays, you have that turkey in your belly. Well, actually, you probably shouldn't by now because that was Christmas. That was like weeks ago. But now that you've processed the holidays and we're in 2016, what do you guys think of what's going on in the future?
Some unquestionable science happening there.
What are you talking about? It's fine. It's fine.
That's fine.
It's okay to digest turkey for weeks.
Rancid turkey get.
Yeah.
There are a lot more new Vita games that I'm really excited about coming out this year versus last year. There were a few that I was interested in, but not as many, and I wasn't as interested in them as what I am for the games that are coming out this year.
So what, briefly, what games are coming out this year for the Vita?
Okay, so and these are all hopefully coming out this year.
Yeah.
And most of them are RPGs, obviously. The main one is World of Final Fantasy. I'm really looking forward to that. There's possibly a new game in the Saga series that's coming to Vita, which could be interesting. There's a game, another Squaresoft game. It's from a sort of spin-off studio. It's called Ikeni to Yuki no Setsuna.
All right, first of all, you're dating yourself that you called it a Squaresoft game. not a Square Enix game.
Not a Square Enix game? Okay. Anyways.
But it was from a spin-off.
Yes.
Triangle Hard.
How awesome would it be if they made a studio and they called it Squaresoft? Man. That'd be great.
Or Triangle Hard or Trapezoid Hard or
No, it'd be it would be Squaresoft, so it would be like Hexagon Medium and Octagon Hard.
I see.
Anyway,
what was that
sorry,
long?
Shane, keep going.
What was the long one that you just said at the end there?
So, Ikeni to Yuki no Setsuna. Game? No, it's another RPG, but it's apparently it's sort of a not exact. It takes some of the cues from Chrono Trigger, Chrono Slash, and puts it in a brand new different setting. But it looks really like a fun old school style RPG.
Like a tactics?
No, not tactics. It's
like an action style RPG.
Like
but like it's a top down.
Well,
or no?
Yeah, sort of
sideways.
Not an action so much as
Is it like Halo?
No.
Call of Duty?
No, it's more sort of harkening back to the 16-bit RPGs, but done in as if they were doing it today. So more modern style graphics, not pixely graphics, but modern art graphics, and it looks fun. There's a new dungeon crawler coming out called Ray Gigant, which looks really neat.
Sorry, that reminded me of a game. All right.
Okay.
Remind me later that remind me of a game.
Okay. And there are a few others. There's a remake of an older game called Odin Sphere.
Oh my god. Odin Sphere is awesome.
Yeah,
they remade that for the PSP as well, right? And now they're making it again?
I don't know if they...
No, I was thinking Tactics Ogre. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is a different game. This is Odin Sphere. It's a sort of side-scrolling RPG, but done by Vanillaware, which sort of the art's sort of the painterly art style.
I've got
kind of like Dragon's Crown.
But... I would say that it's like Dragon's Crown, sort of that broad brush sort of broad brush style. You remember that fighting game Darkstalkers? That sort of art.
Oh, okay. Man, Dragon's Crown, what a great game that was too.
Yes.
And sexy.
Yeah, Odin Sphere doesn't have quite the same polarizing art style, but
they appear to have
like art direction, I should say, but
their proportions seem to be much more realistic.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
What was the name of the other game, Shane? Is the long name one? I'm going to just type it in just to... Because this is riveting when I do this.
It's called Ikeni to Yuki no Setsuna.
Oh, man, I'm really glad we're going to get Scott's typing in now, because I wasn't recording when we were doing it before.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yes.
No, I'm not typing it right. just gonna type.
Just
Vita.
type in Project Setsuna, Setsuna.
Project.
So the part that I find interesting is you read all these articles online about how the Vita is dead, no one's making games for it, and you say that this year you're looking forward to more games than you were last year.
Yep.
So that's great news for Vita owners for sure.
Yes, it is.
I think what happened was like Vita, like when Vita first came out, it was marketed as this is like your console on the go, right? Like it was like it wanted to bring the AAA games to the Vita because like the Vita is a very powerful system, but it's not as powerful as the consoles, and so it really struggles when it's like, oh well, we're gonna make a console game and the Vita version of the game. The Vita version struggles because it's like it's just not designed to handle it as much as the others.
Yeah, Extra Credits had a thing about it. It was more a business issue that developers didn't have the resources to commit to two. Like to port it to a separate place.
But now it's really finding its home because it's like, you know, it's like it is probably one of the best ways to play indie games on the go.
Yeah.
It really has a home for like those like a turn-based strategy game or turn-based RPG like is really fitting for the Vita just because like you can put it down at any time because like it's not like, you know, it's not really designed for twitchy type stuff, but like RPGs are like a really good home for it too. And Japan has a huge like their handheld crazy over there. Like, you know, console gaming in Japan is on a steady decline, but handheld gaming's on the up and up. So that's why you get all these JRPG style games coming out to the West and stuff because there's like the adoption. The thing about the Vita is that there's not too many out there in comparison to the other systems, but the adoption rate for games is crazy. Like it was I don't know if it's still like this, but it was that the average Vita owner has 18 games, which is like unheard of. Like, you know, consoles it's usually like 4 or 5, but like 18 is like ridiculous for like for any console to have that kind of adoption rate to it. So it's a small system that everyone says is dead, but the people that have their Vita love their Vita.
Yeah, and there's a couple other games too. There's one just announced called Grand Kingdom, which is sort of a strategy RPG that I'm looking forward to.
Does it end or does it go on forever?
Because
if it goes on forever, I know someone that might want to play it.
I'm not sure because I don't know too much about it. Because initially they didn't know if it was going to get a Western release, but now it is. So
very good.
That's just good news.
Are you here, Tony?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Oh, okay.
He's listening intently.
Oh, very good.
I'm just hogging all the airtime right now.
That's fine.
Oh, it's good.
And there's a few others, but those are the main ones. At least that I can remember at the moment.
All right.
The other big one that I'm looking forward to is the original Disgaea is coming to PC in February.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And that's pretty much the only one other than 5 that I haven't finished, so...
Who's got 2 thumbs and controls the underworld? Disgaea.
Yeah, that's right.
So the original is coming to PC. Is it being redone in any kind of way? Is it just an up-res or?
I think it's basically just an up-res. They've included some HD textures, but it's not gonna probably blow your socks off visually, but it's more just I'm excited because A, it's on PC, and B, it's the only one that I haven't finished. And if they bring that to PC and it does well, they might bring the other one. So that means maybe I will get to play Disgaea 5 at some point.
So we're all gonna buy it. You know, we don't necessarily have to play it, but we'll all buy it in support for other ones to come. I'm a huge proponent of that because I made everyone buy Final Fantasy X so we can get a Final Fantasy 12 remake. So
yeah, and how many copies of Final Fantasy X and X-2 do you own?
Including the originals, or
sure.
1, 2, 3. I own 4 copies.
So all the copies
of each of them. Yeah, so all the copies. Yes.
I own 2 copies of each, so.
Yeah, see, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right, before I forget, because Shane reminded me, there's a game that I want to play in 2016, and it's called Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Oh yeah, that should be fun. That's actually coming to Vita soon.
So it's a dungeon crawl game, but it's a rhythm game.
Oh
yeah,
my
set to
god,
music.
that sounds like the best game ever.
Apparently, it is really good.
If you go,
where can I get it?
So I think you can get it on Steam right now.
Oh, is it out on Steam now?
$15 US.
Yeah,
I think so.
So like $85.
And then it's coming to PS4 and Vita like either later this month or next month.
Oh, okay. I'll wait for the PS4 then.
Yeah.
If you want to check out a video, there's a 50. The Penny Arcade guys do this thing called the First 15. They play a game for 15 minutes, and they play the crypto. I watched it on there, and it was hilarious. I was like, I'm sold. The music is amazing. It's so funny.
All right, yeah. I'll after this, I'll probably take a look at it.
So I just wanted to say that's probably one of the.
What is it called again? It's
Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Okay.
So instead of Crypt of the Necromancer.
Yeah. Okay.
Apparently you can dance to your own tunes as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says here, move to the music and deliver beatdowns to the beat, groove to the epic Danny Baranowski soundtrack, or select songs from your own MP3 collection.
That's probably on the Steam version then, right?
Yeah, Steam.
I doubt the PS4 version will have that, since it doesn't. Well, I guess you could play MP3s on it.
It's hard to say because you can only really stream from other devices to the PS4.
Yeah, that's true. What else, Scott? Well, since you started with that one, Scott, what are you looking forward to 26? Or Shane, sorry, were you done, Shane? Or
yeah, I think I've spoken enough.
It's more. I just had to get that in because I was gonna forget. I was like, I gotta remember.
No,
nothing wrong with that. That's a great choice, Scott.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I'm actually just gonna try to finish a couple games. I was actually thinking like, I'm finishing Whispering Willows on the PS4 right now.
What a great game that is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's an indie game that I must admit has the worst intro art ever. But once you get into the game, it's like a puzzle game where the premise is that you're a shaman, apparently. But basically you can have your spirit leave your body, and then it can float around and it can unlock different parts or let you look ahead, and you have to solve different puzzles in this gloomy mansion that your father's trapped in. But it's quite. I kind of got sucked into it because like there's ghosts that you talk to, and there's like little storylines and subplots and puzzles and stuff. So I'm getting quite far in it. I think I'm probably more than halfway. So
yeah, it's really good. I feel like it's probably going to be a PlayStation Plus game at some point in time. But it's a really cheap game. I think it's only $10, like when it's not on sale, and it goes on sale all the time. So
yeah, because we bought that when we bought Dark Soul 2.
Yeah, when you did your downloading binge at my place.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, that I honestly I'm not looking. There's not too much new that I'm looking forward to other than the Crypt of the Necrodancer. I've been more kind of thinking about trying to get a couple of the older games done that I've been just kicking around.
Kind of like a backlog deal.
Yeah, the backlog. Yeah, so nothing board game wise. The big game there's a couple of expansions that I'm looking forward to the card games that I can't seem to give up. But but the one game is Mysterium, which would be the one game. It's a board game where you're all paranormal investigators, except for one player. All the paranormal investigators have gone to this house where someone died 100 years ago, and you have to investigate to try to figure out, like Clue, who killed him, with what, and where. And the one player plays the ghost of that person. And so your paranormal investigators, after they've done a bit of investigating, can go to sleep, and then they can put the ghost can give you dream cards, which are these kind of dreamy, cryptic cards to try to help you figure out who actually killed them.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be quite funny because apparently being the ghost is hilarious, because they said you give clues and then the investigators completely misunderstand your clues, and then you're like, no, well, you can't talk, so you have to just sit there and listen, and then the next dream you try to give them new dreams to try to get them back on course. So
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. So that's the one board game that I'm sort of interested in. And then for Warhammer 40k Conquest, the Necrons come out, which are basically necromancers in space. So that should in space. So, and I got the Tyranids for Christmas. So I have all the factions now except the Necrons, which come out soon. So
yeah. So all the ones that are currently out to this date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not as excited about the Tyranids, but there were some cards in there that I wanted, which was pretty cool. So the Tyranids are like basically aliens.
Yeah, from like the traditional alien aliens.
Yeah, right? Alien aliens. They basically they're these huge ships that like drop these creatures to take over planets, and so the Imperium of Man basically responds by just blowing up the planet because it's better just to blow up the planet than to let them spread. So
sounds reasonable.
Nuke them from orbit.
Yeah. Nuke. Well, I don't. Exterminatus. They basically just destroy the planet.
Yeah, so, nuke them from orbit.
From orbit.
You don't want to be there when you're nuking them.
Well, sometimes they don't care. Because, well, the thing about 40k, which is hard to understand, is that basically humans live on, like, billions of planets across the universe. And so when these aliens attack, sometimes the best policy, well, not the best policy, but the way the Imperium responds is like, well, we'll just destroy this planet. You know, so that's one planet we've lost, but there's trillions and trillions of humans, so losing one planet's not a big deal.
Unless you're one of the people who lives on that planet.
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't be so happy.
No, exactly. Which is why I like the Tau. I know that they're trying to make the Tau less good, because I guess some of the fans complained that the Tau were coming out to be the good guys, and then everyone said, well, the humans are basically a fascist state in the 40,000th millennium. So, of course, the Tau look better because they're not quite a fascist regime. They're just an empire. So, but
cool.
Yeah, so I can't think of much else. That was it for me. I don't know about Lenny and Tony if they have something they were looking for.
I'm still looking for anything on my Wii U to impress me.
Oh, speaking about that then, Tony, before we get further. There's a game that we've started to play, and it seems promising, but I haven't really dived into it too. It's called the Xenoblade Chronicles X. So far, it seems pretty cool. It's like an MMO without being an MMO kind of thing, and like it's like a sci-fi story, and like you make your character and stuff like that. It seems pretty cool, and you can play with up to 4 people,
like
I think.
Japanese sci-fi though, like Robotech kind of.
Yeah, it seems like a cool game.
Yeah, because you can actually jump in a mecha in it.
Yeah. I haven't gotten that far yet, but like we literally just kind of started. It was a post Christmas. It was Christmas money game that I got. So
yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
it's another really long game though, so
yeah, that's
strap yourself
we'll have to check it out. If it's a multiplayer game, then that might be something for LAN party.
Yeah, that's true.
It does look like it'd be a lot of fun for that.
I know I mentioned it last time, but I'm interested in picking up Majora's Mask if I ever see it on sale, because they redid it for the Wii U.
Nice.
Wait, for the Wii U?
Were they not?
Or the 3DS?
Or it might be the 3DS. Yeah, forgive me.
Oh no, it's alright.
Yeah. But also, yeah.
I don't think he forgave you.
I always forgive Tony.
But yeah, also I got an iPad for Christmas, so that opened up a whole new avenue for me. So
Devil's Attorney.
I'll look into it.
Okay.
But right now I'm working on Final Fantasy VI. I'm deep into Final Fantasy VI, so it's gonna be my first.
You can also get
victory
papers.
of the year.
You can also get
nice,
papers, please.
Yes, I keep seeing that one on Steam, and I've got to say that one's not really catching my attention.
I think that's another game, Tony, that you have to play it.
Yeah, papers, please. Really?
Yeah,
it's the most.
Yeah, you have to play it, and then you'll understand.
Or you could just like get my job I used to have, and then you can just play that instead.
It's probably the most political game I've ever played. Like it actually, the guy who designed it had something to say.
Yeah.
So like you play it, and as it goes on, you start to realize like
that there's something. Yeah, actually, Tony, like I know a lot about it because everyone won't shut up about it. But I think you, of all people, would really like it for its political story.
Yeah, right on. But yeah, and also kind of fixing up this backlog of games that I've got half started. Like I'm probably a quarter of the way through Wolfenstein right now. Still have Wolf Among Us to beat. Valiant Hearts, haven't even started it yet.
Oh, I've heard Valiant Hearts is good.
Yeah. And also like I picked up Beyond Earth, Sid Meier's Civilization Beyond.
Oh yeah,
nice.
nice.
The expansion pack.
Yeah. And like I said, I dipped my toe into that Endless Legend, and that looks pretty vast and lots to learn. So I have my work cut out for me this year.
Nice. All right, what about you, Lenny?
Well, as I mentioned before, I'm really looking forward to getting into a nice JRPG, probably Final Fantasy X, 10-2 this year.
Nice.
And all as well as The Witcher 3, Western RPG.
Very good choices.
I'm hoping, this is just a hope, that I play and beat all of those things, as well as some other things.
Lenny,
Lenny, I have a game to recommend you.
Is it Thomas's What's Alone? Is that what it is?
That is a great game. I'm not.
Yeah. Or probably just the expansion, though, right?
Both, really.
Just both.
Counts as two, apparently.
And Max McMahon, Devil's Attorney. I also recommend.
Oh God.
Actually, that one sounds fun.
It's
well,
fun.
they all sound fun, but that one sounds fun as well. As I was mentioning on Facebook there, after I beat Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I'm playing right now, I'm hoping, or I'm not hoping, but I'm going to play through The Wolf Among Us, because I've had it for a very long time, and I've yet to even play it. And it's, from what I hear, it's maybe better than The Walking Dead.
I just finished it, and I gotta say, I liked it better than The Walking Dead Season 2. I don't know if I would say it's better than Walking Dead Season 1, but it's different. Walking Dead Season 1 is such an emotional game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really well done in that respect. But I am a big sucker for murder mysteries, so I really enjoyed Wolf Among Us.
I'm also really enjoying it, but I find that if I play halfway through an episode, I have to play them all, because if I come through halfway through an episode and I sit down again, my attitude will have changed since the last time I played. So, there'll be a scene where, Bigby's all riled up and I'm starting to get aggressive, and then, I'll have to take a time out, and I'll, put the game on pause, and I'll, come back to it the next day, and, I'm tired, but I'm refreshed, and, I'm happy, not in a bad mood. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm in combat. What the hell's going on? I'm really confused and apologetic, and I'm, whiffing my punches, and I'm just like, I'm not playing this right.
You can't stop it during one of the combat scenes. You just wait till, you wait till you're about to go to a new location, and that's where you pause it.
Yeah. So maybe that's my fault, but
maybe. But I don't know. I really, really enjoyed Wolf Among Us. Yeah, it seemed to me, at least, because I played it so close, directly compared to Walking Dead Season 2, and on the Vita, it ran so much more smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's, they had different people work on it, but the animation just seemed a lot more smooth than
well, they got the Walking Dead money, right? That's the...
Yeah. And the art style is just a little bit different, and I really liked how they did it. And the voice acting was superb.
Yeah, that's something I do like about Telltale. They've got good voice actors.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and oh man, it's got a great ending.
Yeah, I look forward to playing it for sure, and as well, I guess this kind of falls into the same area, but I have that game for the PS3, and I'm going to try to play a little more PS3 as well.
Just to get rid of that old.
I feel bad. I'm neglecting it. It's there. It's
it cries at night.
There's lots of games there for it. I should probably try to play them.
All right. Anything else, Lenny? Or
I think that's it.
Okay. I'll just quickly go through mine because we're running a little long here. So yeah, for 2016, you guys kind of know this already, but I'm planning to beat every single Final Fantasy main numbered series. So like 1 to 14, including the MMOs, but only for the MMOs. I'm only including up until the end of the original game itself. So the Shadow Lord for Final Fantasy 11, and then just the end of 2.0 series for Final Fantasy 14. Just to make it attainable. I don't even know if that's going to be attainable because actually I've already blasted through Final Fantasy.
You guys give me trouble about Dark Souls.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true, but I've already beat Final Fantasy 1, so it's already under the belt. I'm on Final Fantasy 2. I'm having a lot harder time with it because it levels weird. Because
what platform did you play Final Fantasy 1 on?
I played on my PlayStation TV.
Okay.
It's the PlayStation 1 version of the game.
Right.
So it's not the super easy one. It's not the iPad version one because that's like the easier one because they changed the charges to magic points and you have a lot more magic points and like you can use your spells a lot more. But it's not like the crazy hard like Nintendo original version either. It's like the happy medium in between.
Yeah.
So yeah, I beat that. I'm also playing 2. That's the version I'm playing as well as the PlayStation 1 version on the PS TV as well. And then I'll probably hop over to the PC to play 3 and 4.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that, hopefully.
And you're doing them in order.
I'm doing them in order, although I have done, I'm not going to lie, I did a little prep work in 14.
That shenanigans.
Well, I just, there's a few things you got to do, and I'll probably do some prep work.
That's like playing an expansion and counting it for a game.
No, it's not. Doing some prep work, I will beat them in order.
Yeah, for an MMO, I can understand that.
Yeah, and I'll have to do a little bit
say
of prep
that's
work
allowed.
in 11. Yeah, all right.
Sure.
Yeah, Shane, thanks for the ruling on that. And they
like I'm any kind of judge, but
other than that, I also want to play. I want to play more board games and card games as well. Actually, we're this weekend we're going up to the cabin to have like a weekend of gaming. Board games.
Take Catacombs.
I'm taking Catacombs. I'm taking Game of Thrones as well.
Nice.
And then
I'm taking Dead of Winter.
Yeah, that'll be another good one too, especially like the fact that it's super winter.
It will be the dead of winter.
We're also taking a PS4 and we're gonna play Until Dawn as well, which is that horror game about a bunch of kids going up to a cabin in the wintertime. So
yeah, it's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, I've actually beat it, but no one else. You've never played it, right, Lenny?
I've never played it.
Okay, yeah, none of the other guys have played it, so it's gonna be great. It's such a good, It's such a good story. Like it's such a good game. But and the other last thing that I wanted to talk about is that I'm actually going to focus not so much on games itself, but I'm actually going to focus on the website as well. Trying to improve that and actually try to get this thing off the ground as well. We're doing a pretty good job. We're actually getting more and more
content
frequent. We're getting content. Sorry, it's starting to get late. My brain's turning into mush. But,
yeah, we should wrap up.
Yeah, we're wrapping up right now. I'm gonna go right into my housekeeping. So, yeah, we're gonna do I'm gonna do better on the website. We're gonna add more stuff. We actually just started. We are officially on iTunes now. So the 7 episodes are up on iTunes. So all you have to do is search for No Time to Play Today, and it should be the first thing that comes up. The cool thing about that is once I put the episode on the website, it automatically uploads onto iTunes, so I don't have to do any special work, which is great for me. We also have the 7 episodes up on YouTube right now as well, so you can look at them that way. I'm also starting to make a Facebook page and some other stuff. So once people start listening and wanting to interact with us, those things will be up and available, and we can actually maybe have a mail segment in future episodes. But yeah, that's pretty much the goals of 2016
excellent
for us. So hopefully it'll end up working out for us.
All right, just a couple more things for the 2016. Or maybe not related at all. I hope to get a PSVR. Number one.
Oh my god.
And one more thing. Boy and His Blob is out on PS4, I think, right now. Well as Dark Cloud 2 PS2 emulation on the PS4 there.
I really enjoyed A Boy and His Blob.
Yeah, it was
Played it
Wii.
for the Wii way back in the day.
Yeah. So and it's all spruced up. So like the artwork looks like super crisp now because it's on the newer consoles now. So.
Right.
Dark Cloud 2 was awesome on the PS2, so I hope it's good on the PS4.
It,
the other game that
they'll have trophies.
The other game that they released recently, which was one that I played and almost beat, but then my PS2 got stolen and it got stolen too, was Arc the Lad Twilight of the Spirits.
Oh yeah,
which is a sort of SRPG light game, but it wasn't too bad. It's you can definitely tell it's not top tier, but I still found it to be a fun game.
Nice. All right. Okay, we gotta wrap up. So Scott, send us home. Send us out of here.
What?
Make us engage. Warp 9.
Make it so.
Sorry, am I doing the boobly boop? Is that?
No.
Yeah, sing us out.
Don't usually.
Matt thought you had something nicely prepared to close us off.
I had the intro.
What's all that typing for?
Oh, okay. We don't have an outro.
I can write one. I can.
All right, everyone. Well, it's been a pleasure
right
to serve you.
I'll write that next time.
Okay, well, that's good. Well, okay, for all of us here at No Time to Play today,
we wish you a happy new year, and we'll talk soon.
Keep on keeping on.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.